Rabbi covers Israeli sports from basketball to soccer and many more. For hard-hitting opinions and thoughts, the Sports Rabbi Josh Halickman gives it all.
All right, we're back here with the Sports Rabbi Josh Halickman, Sports Rants. We all know that when it comes down to it, when we get to the Eurobasket tournament, Tamir Blatt's going to be there for Israel. At the end of the day, Ariel Beit Halachmi knows it, Tamir Blatt knows it, because winning is the name of the game, and Beit Halachmi needs Blatt to ensure that the blue and white will have their best players in order for them to advance out of the group stage and into the knockout rounds in the summer. Of course, we're back here with Sports Rabbi Josh Halickman with your Sports Rabbi Rants. You can check us out daily on YouTube, subscribe, press the like button, make sure you let all your friends know that we are here. You can also find us at the Sports Rabbi on X, Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky. And of course, on sportsrabbi.com, both in English and in Hebrew. We deliver the best Israeli sports news and basketball views in both languages, English and in Hebrew. Well, Tamir Blatt is your topic du jour. We started off last night or yesterday talking about the Israel national team getting together for their two upcoming Eurobasket qualification games that are for protocol only. They're not going to be counted because, well, they're going to count. But Israel already qualified for the big tournament in the summer. It'll take place at the end of August into September for the Eurobasket. That's been already taken care of. So these two games are kind of meaningless unless you want to see some players, bring some new players in, see how they're going to do. And on and on and on. Ariel Beit Halachmi will have that opportunity. He has of course, we spoke about it yesterday, a pretty large roster of players that have not played with the national team or a very few minutes with the national team, 4 veteran players. And one of the biggest topics coming out of this whole week has been Tamir Blatt. And we kind of spoke about it yesterday a bit, but we're going to dive in a little bit deeper into the topic today. Tamir Blatt, of course, the son of David Blatt, star point guard, plays for Maccabi Tel Aviv, EuroLeague, played for Hapoel Jerusalem, Hapoel Cholon, Hapoel Tel Aviv, played in the EuroLeague with Alba Berlin before joining Maccabi Tel Aviv before last season. He's been terrific, great three-point shooter, incredible vision, assists really well, fantastic talent, no question about it. Tamir Blatt is a top point guard, and if you look at what Israel has to offer today, he's one of the top few point guards that this country has, without a question. And you can't even come close about saying that there are half a dozen great point guards. There are not a half a dozen great point guards. There's maybe 2 or 3 or 4 very good point guards in this country. Tamir Blatt is one of them. Now, there's been a lot spoken about Tamir Blatt because he has not been to the national team since Ariel Beit Halachmi has taken over as the head coach. Of course, Ariel Beit Halachmi had coached the youth national teams, specifically the under-20, when Deni Avdia was playing with it, as well as Yam Madar. He had won back-to-back European championships in the under-20 group as well, which is incredible. And he relied heavily on Deni Avdia and Yam Madar, of course, especially in the championship that took place in Tel Aviv, where Deni was the tournament MVP. Israel wins back-to-back titles. Incredible performances. Ariel Beit Halachmi was great. The Israel national team at the same time had gone through a number of coaches, Oded Katash, Guy Gudis, and now Ariel Beit Halachmi, over the last year and change, has been in charge. There's been a number of windows of games. Tamir Blatt has not played at all during those windows. Most recently, we hadn't heard anything until about an hour before Maccabi Tel Aviv's league game against Netanya on Sunday, when they said he has some back pains, he's not going to play. Oded Katash in the post-game press conference said he was going to go for an MRI. The MRI results came. Apparently he has a couple of issues with a couple of discs in his back. Even Tamir Blatt yesterday went to Instagram after he had heard the catcalls and criticisms across the board from national team captain and national team acting captain Bar Timur and Tomer Ginat. Also from Amos Frischman, the head of the Israel Basketball Association. And of course many of the various different media people saying that this was, staged, and he was this and he was that. And Tamir Blatt came and said how much he loves the national team. He has a chronic back problem, needs rest, and that's probably all true. There's no question there. But we also know there's something a little bit deeper in the topic here. that Ariel Beit Halachmi, he likes Yamadar, and he went out publicly and said that Yamadar is his number one point guard. Now, that was obviously a mistake on the part of Ariel Beit Halachmi for publicly going out and saying that, because in essence, if you're, one of the top guards in the country, you're not going to feel pretty good if you're not Yamadar. And that's probably what happened. I have no, proof as to that is the reason why, and he, does or doesn't want to play for Ariel Beit Halachmi. I don't even want to go into that, but there's obviously something there. But on the other hand, Tamir Blatt also, and rightfully so, is has this chronic problem and also deserves some rest. Now, this is the third time that this has happened, so people are saying, well, he's cried wolf so many times. And, the threats are coming in that Tamir Blatt is not going to be welcome to the national team. He's not going to be able to play for the national team. He's not going to be called up when it comes to the big tournament. And, this is, impossible that it should happen. And, that it's a responsibility for the players to be at the national team. And we spoke about it yesterday as well, that yes, especially after October 7th, you want to see Israeli players representing the country any opportunity they have, even in games that we'll say have no real meaning, and for protocol only, as the term is used here in Israel, that the games are played. And again, there's of the 12 players that are going to Riga to play in the two games that they have coming up against Slovenia and Portugal, is that there's 4 veteran players in there, in Bar Timur, Idan Zalmanson, Rafi Menko, and Itai Segev, and the other 8 players are, more younger players, and frankly, players that have very little chance of making the final squad, other than Ben Saraf, who definitely would make the final squad, but will probably be drafted with a lottery pick in the NBA, and therefore this team will probably not allow him to participate in the European Championships. But otherwise, the other 7 players, maybe, I don't even think, maybe you'll have one as a secondary player that may perhaps get into that final roster. But the veteran players, many of them are not playing in this window. And that is, Tomer Ginat has a hamstring issue, so he is out. Yamadar, he has a knee issue, he is out. Yovel Zusman had a knee issue. He was at the training on Monday night. It was reported right afterwards. They announced that he would be out. Kadeen Carrington, apparently had a head injury that we've seen and spoken about in the State Cup final. He is out. Roman Sorkin, probably a while ago, asked to have off to rest, and he had been with the national team over the summer for the summer tournament. He is out. And even assistant coach Sharon Drucker is not with the team. He is not there also. He also is the head coach of the women's team, the head coach of the Leumit side, Maccabi Rishon LeZion. He also is not with the national team. So the national team and the Israel Basketball Association can posture all that they want, that they're against this player and against that player, and we've given permission to some players, and some other players brought their own medical reports, and we never gave them permission, and on and on and on and on. It's all posturing at the end of the day. Everybody has a story, and you want to make a big deal about it. The whole national team camp, you can make a big deal about it. At the end of the day, there are so many players that are not with the team. Is there a relationship problem with Ariel Beit Halachmi and Tamir Blatt? Listen, I can't really tell you that there is or there isn't. But at the end of the day, you're looking at Tamir Blatt, who's played for all the youth teams, youth national teams. He has been a loyal, foot soldier for his club teams. He played many club teams here in Israel. At the end of the day, Ariel Beit Halachmi needs Tamir Blatt. He needs Tamir Blatt. Tamir Blatt has to be on the national team when they are going to play in the European Championship in one of the various cities or countries that the group stages are going to play, and hopefully they'll make it into Riga for the knockout stages. But Ariel Beit Halachmi is going to have to smoke the peace pipe. He's going to have to go to Tamir Blatt, and he's going to have to say, hey, listen, I'm sorry if I said something that insulted you. That wasn't the intention. We need everybody here. I don't care if you're a first guard, second guard, third guard. If you're on the national team, it's because we need you here. And he's going to need Tamir Blatt. At the end of the day, he needs Tamir Blatt to be playing on the national team. Because if he doesn't have him there, they have less creative guards. And not only do they have less creative guards, it means they have less chance of winning. And if they lose and they get knocked out of the group stage, which they have unfortunately been a number of times over the last few tournaments, we have not been successful as a country. Well, then you're always going to look back and say, what would have been if I would have had Tamir Blatt in my lineup or on my squad or in my roster? And you're not going to want to have that second guess. You want to be stubborn. You want to have an ego. Everybody has an ego. Coaches have egos. Athletes have egos. Everybody has it. Let's check the egos at the door. Because Tamir Blatt has to be with the national team. That is the bottom line. Because when they're going to play against the heavyweights, and we don't know yet who they're going to play, but if it's Serbia, France, even Poland, you're certainly going to want to have one of your best guards available to you in order to win the game. And you don't want to be shorthanded. It's the last thing you want to do. We're not a big country. Israel's not a big country. We don't have the top quality players that we have, 38 plus players that we can choose from. Yes, we have a lot of players that we can choose from, but Tamir Blatt is in that upper echelon of top players. He has to be there. I think he also knows he has to be there. And like I said at the start, the end of the day, folks, Ariel Beit Halachmi needs Tamir Blatt more than Tamir Blatt needs to be in the national team. As much as he'd want to be there, they're going to have to get together. They're going to have to say, kumbaya. They're going to have to say, let's be friends. Get over it. Take that peace pipe. Smoke it up. Get ready. Get ready for the Eurobasket. Make sure you subscribe. Press that like button. Check us out at the Sports Rabbi at X, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and of course, sportsrabbi.com, both in English and in Hebrew. We deliver to you the best Israeli sports news and basketball views in both language, English and Hebrew. Sports Rabbi Josh Halickman, Sports Rabbi Rants, wishing you a great day from the holy city of Jerusalem.